Gregorian behind the cage. Dash to his right and wraps it around to the goal. Lovo, O'Reilly over the top. Roy ready. Shot and score. Gets around Wheaton. Up and down. Shot and a score. Wow. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score. Up top, Druin. He wants a shot, and he's got it. Wow. Meanwhile, Arbusto. One-handed shot is up and in. With an extra man. Bouvier sniping. Top corner. Sophomore goes back to it. Enzo turns and scores. Now inside of 4 minutes. Who's the man? Spellman's the man. That's who. Clark on the run. Shot and score. Meanwhile, Durkin to the cage. Shot and score. Chase. Extra feed. Shot and score. Game over. Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Windham. Nick and Astis, Roger Howe with you for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week between the St. Thomas Saints and the Windham Jaguars. Two teams right in the thick of things in Division 2 as we hit the midway point of the schedule. The Jaguars, they started off 6-0 out of the gate under head coach Sean Young before they caught their first and only loss against Derryfield. That was nearly a full week ago. It was back on Saturday. They have been off since, have had 6 full days to get ready for this one. Saints come in with a, 3-3 record? No, 4-3. They've won 2 in a row. Wins over Kingswood and Bow already this week. And Windham here on the schedule, the third game since Monday. Of course, first-year head coach Scott Singer hoping to challenge his club. They've got a challenging schedule with Winnicunnet, the likes of Winnicunnet, Hollis Brookline, Exeter, Portsmouth, etc. So 2 teams, Roger, that caught a lot of preseason buzz when we talked about Division 2.
Yeah, for sure. And, that whole cluster at the top of Division 2 right now, they're really... with the exception of Portsmouth at 8-0 and Timberlane and Windham 7-1 and 6-1 respectively. Winnicunnet is bringing up the fourth place slot with a 7-1 record. Derryfield, who fell a couple of losses this year, they're right in the mix. There's St. Thomas sitting there with a 4-3 record, but they could be vaulting right up into the thick of things for the playoff run, given the fact that they've had some very, very strong outings lately.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a talented squad. Anthony DiMartino, one of the junior midfielders, one of the co-captains. His name has popped up convincingly or consistently, rather, amongst lacrosse circles. Of course, Marcus Broom, another talented midfielder for Coach Singer, the senior on his way to Catholic University. And as we talked about with Windham really all season, Alex Ryan coming into his own, the senior on his way to Bentley. We spoke with him on FNL Lacrosse over the weekend, and seems like a great, personable kid and certainly the leader of this Jaguar squad.
Yeah, one of the things that I really look for and appreciate in a young athlete like an Alex Ryan is how he handled himself in that interview on Sunday morning. And just I got a clear sense that he knew what his direction was, what he wants to do with his life, and why he made the decision to go to Bentley in the first place. And when that comes across to me as a coach, I see leadership all over that. And certainly we saw in the Derryfield game right from the start him scoring the first 3 goals of that game. Just trying to keep his team in that game and running that offense with him and Denton and some others. But what a very refreshing interview and something to see in an athlete like that.
All right, Roger, what are we watching for here this afternoon? Give us some keys.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to see St. Thomas. First of all, we don't know a lot about them. This is our first game we've done with them, and we've just been watching the scoreboard from afar. But certainly, Coach Singer and Coach Walsh. I know Bailey Walsh, the assistant coach, very well here. They are saying you need to watch. Broom. Broom is the guy on midfield that will more than likely him and DiMartino will be running that offense. So I'm going to be keying in on those guys. And then, of course, Max Murray, the other captain, on the defensive side to see what they can do against Windham and see if Martino matches up with Alex Ryan like Little did with Derryfield in that last game that we did, and to see what that looks like. I would like to see, on the Windham side, I would like to see them get Ryan out of that wing slot on the right side where he seemed to find success early in that Derryfield game. Then they keyed on him. They really stuck to him, kind of like Nick Dahl did the other night on Aiden Drunzik, even though he scored 5 goals. He needs to be free from that one slot in their offense, and I'm looking for that to be mixed up a little bit.
All right, when we come back, game time here in Windham, week number 4. Statewide, Jaguars and Saints coming up next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com.
Hey, I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and affordable repair shop for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and even Android needs. Don't worry, we're affordable, reliable, and we back our parts with a lifetime warranty. And you know what the best part is? No, what? We can repair your phone while you wait.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Green. Here's your iPad, good as new. Bring your phone into New Hampshire iPhone Repair today.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today.
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company. It's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
Well, back here in Windham, getting set for this one. Jaguars and Saints. Windham and St. Thomas here. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. Both teams in the mix, Roger, on a busy Friday here.
Huge
As
schedule.
we begin to wrap up week number 4 already, I guess officially past the midway point. This is usually the time of season where we start to get some separation in the standings, right?
Yeah, and in years past when Division III was the big division, if you recall, way back, and nearly it seemed like everyone in that division made the playoffs. We didn't talk as much about it in Division III, and now a lot of those teams have moved up to Division II in recent years, and now we're kind of, it's going to be a struggle to see that. In fact, I thought to myself, I think the end of last week I was looking at Conval. Conval is sitting there kind of in a sleeper position. They're 4-2 right now, but they're they're actually showing a points total ahead of St. Thomas and Goffstown, which is intriguing. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it'll be a big slate of weekend games. I think come Monday we may have a better picture. Of course, we'll break it down this Sunday on FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks at 9 a.m. All right, here we go. Windham, the home team in the home gold jerseys, going to head right to left in this first quarter. Coach Singer's Saints in their road navy blues with the white lettering. This one on the ground, and it goes to the face-off man for St. Thomas. That's Lincoln Stone, one of the senior leaders, able to set the tone. Quick shot ends up wide, and now the Saints going to put it in play behind the cage. Speaking of the cage, Windham goaltender is Jackson Milano, one of their better all-around athletes. He's a senior on his way to NEC to play football in the fall. Meanwhile, spin move, pass, near side taken by Finnegan Connor. And the junior attackman shot swallowed up by Milano. No problem there for the senior goalie. Here's a long pass that's dropped near midfield. Recovered, though, by Wyndham's Colby Schiffer. Well, I'm sorry, that's Sam Dunham.
Yeah, we got
senior defenseman there on the clear, and now Windham on the attack for the first time.
Yeah, sorry about that. We got a scoring chance here.
Shot fanned on. Matt O'Connor never quite had it. The Villanova commit had the positioning. Meanwhile, the ride is going to force a turnover. It's Nate Crowley picked up the waist-high ground ball. Ryan providing the pressure. And again, Windham basically with a do-over here, trying to crack the ice with just over a minute gone by.
Yeah, Windham has brought up some swing players. That's why we see some new numbers out there from what we saw against Derryfield.
Yeah, we were in Manchester when they took on the Cougars their last time out. Back on Saturday. Here's a shot and a score. A bouncer for Blake Bazin, the Denver commit. Able to put the home team out in front here early on, 1-0.
Yeah, Bazin had a goal in that Derryfield game, if you recall. He likes that slot up in the midfield area, but gets a good left-handed turn on his defender, and there's no slide to be found there. So comes right in and puts it in.
Just over a minute and a half gone by. Bazin, really good two-way player. Able to light the lamp there.
Yeah, we seem to be seeing a lot more of that this year, and I love it. I love the two-way midfielder concept that goes way back. And we've got more and more offensive midfielders, especially with Bishop Girton and Derryfield, keeping those offensive middies on the field to play defense.
If you got the athletes, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
That's how it used to be.
St. Thomas, meanwhile, 2 for 2 now at the X. Owen Birch from the wing, able to get to the ground ball, and the sophomore skips his way across midfield for the clear. Second possession for St. Thomas, trying to tie the game. Coming middle, eyeing the cage, still on the move to his right is Anthony DiMartino. That shot well wide. Going to take a ride all the way to that far corner and stay right here with St. Thomas.
Yeah, a lot of chasing on defense there. They need to be a little more disciplined. He had 2 guys chasing him, and a good shot could have gone in on that. Nobody really backing up in the slot.
Connor up top. It's Broom, number 7, your player to watch. Far side, little shake, little bake, little spin here. That's Stone. Runs out of real estate and pulls it back out. Both head coaches watching intently on the sideline with their arms crossed. His Broom shot is knocked down, and Milano's got his second save. Senior's outlet goes straight down the middle towards midfield, but it's Broom who gets there first for the Saints. Field clear opportunity there for the Jaguars. And now St. Thomas, another opportunity to try to tie this thing at 1 with now 3 minutes gone by.
Yeah, we don't see Milano do that often. He does not miss on his clearing passes.
This is Jackson Estes, freshman midfielder. Pass in the middle. Looking for Connor, was knocked down, and ultimately it's Windham who gets to it. Milano now shortens the outlet pass this time, and it's Dunham on the clear, going to jog uncontested. And now the attack back on for the Jaguars. They look to add on to this 1-0 lead.
Yeah. Good possession for St. Thomas. Still feeling it out a little bit there, and I like what that attackman did when he got collapsed on defensively. He did not try to make an errant shot. He pulled it out, but they did lose possession.
To his left, this is Drew Denton, junior midfielder. Tough angle shot there. He's going to stay in bounds in that far corner. Wyndham's Matt O'Connor tried to keep it in play, does so, and ultimately the Jaguars end up with it. Behind the cage, O'Connor. It's to come downhill. Defender meets him behind the net, trying to spin free, comes near side, looking for a cutter, goes across the zone, but nobody home. Dunham trying to play catch up, and that ball rolls to a stop on the grass, but is ruled out of play. As you can see, a grass field here in good condition. Roger, as we were talking off air, it's been a wet month here in southern New Hampshire, a lot of rain, and it's done the grass some favors.
It really has, and this field looks, with the exception of the creases, as we talked about pre-game, this field is in excellent shape. Liked what number 47, the defender, did on that last play. He got his stick in the alley and was able to graze that shot, or the pass from Denton across, which is why the Saints have the ball right now.
One of the tri-captains on the defensive end, junior Max Murray. All right, Saints going to slow it down here, it looks like, a little bit. Coming up on 5 minutes gone by. Road team trying to get on the board and tie this thing at 1. Near side, Connor. The power shot whizzed out of bounds, backed up, though, by his teammate DiMartino.
Well, yeah, I mean, the offense looks almost like a circle offense when it starts to develop, and then they'll pull the crease guy far, far away, and it's making it very difficult for Windham to get that slide in. Number 13, Finley DeTola, doing his best to keep that slide far, far away. Number 7 as well. Watch that middle. Watch that middle.
A one-on-one now on the wing. Stutter step for Estes. Nowhere to go for the freshman. Going to try to his left side. The defender doing a good job staying with him. That's Brian Damaris.
Yep.
Forced it out, however. Picked up off the low bounce there by Broom to keep it here. There is a flag on the play. It'll be the game's first penalty.
Yeah, it looks like a trip on number 19.
And that's Damaris, who made a pretty good, clean, aggressive play prior to the infraction, it looked like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a little too aggressive, maybe.
Yeah, he just got a little half step maybe behind and got his leg out.
Yeah. DiMartino's shot ends up wide, and now play is stopped as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
Oh, he's going to call a push. Okay.
So good opportunity for the Saints to get on the board here, with a man-up opportunity on the way.
Yeah, that's
so the officials telling the player to get into the corner there.
Yeah, the ball should be really starting down even further. There we go.
And that's the freshman, Finley DeTola, who restarts. And here we go. Saints trying to cash in on the penalty and tie the game here early in this first quarter.
So, again, 30-second penalty. You want to go perimeter and move, and that's what they're doing.
DiMartino behind the net.
Yeah.
Up top, Stone. Thought about it for a moment. Going to swing it again behind the cage.
Yeah, now you need another trade in places. There we go. Good. Good look. One more.
Pass a little behind. It looked like the target, DiMartino, ends up on the side of the net.
Nice.
Big hit here, and that's going to draw a flag. St. Thomas, Marcus Broom laying out the wood there right in front of the official. Penalty on the way against St. Thomas. Meanwhile, Ryan for the Jaguars is going to fire. That one is knocked down and now loose in front of the cage. The defense gets to it, and now we get the whistle. That's the first save, by the way, for St. Thomas goaltender Elijah Allaire. The sophomore able to read that one pretty well. So St. Thomas going to pay the price as Stone jogs to the sideline. First penalty on the way for the Saints. Shouldn't be Stone, though. Stone kind of sprinted off the sideline, but nope, it's the kid who laid him out, Broom, who's going to serve here. The senior on his way to Catholic University, now down on his right knee in the Saints penalty box.
Yeah, you know my feelings about that. I mean, cross-check. He really didn't extend his arms. Your stick has to go somewhere, and you can't take a hand off the stick and then hit somebody with your shoulders. I thought it was clean. He didn't get up high, didn't get under his grill.
Was it the fact that it was such a spectacular hit maybe forced the whistle?
Of course. Absolutely. I think that's probably 80% of it.
Meanwhile, on the other side, they look for the cutter, and the sophomore says no. Another good save, Allaire, with a lunge to his left to knock that one down at the last moment and keep this a 1-0 game. Now Allaire's long outlet pass batted out of the air, and Windham able to force a turnover on the ride. Ooh. Looking for a man in front of the cage. Conley had the positioning. Took his eye off the ball perhaps at the last moment. Meanwhile, Allaire is out of the cage and still moving here. Going to go all the way to midfield. The sophomore still going to keep it. Finally gets rid of it. And now Connor, looking for some real estate here along the near side wing, is going to go behind the net. Always exciting when the goaltender comes out of the cage.
I am all for it. The goalie is the one that really commands the attention on a clear, and they initiate everything.
Here's a hit.
Little trip.
No whistle. No flag. As Connor upended Wyndham's defense. They clear it quickly. And now Conley going to jog to a stop here. Goal line extended with the talented defender Murray slowly closing in, trying to find his footing. A little slick maybe. Jaguars going to settle in. 1-0. They're out in front here as we move towards 3 minutes. First quarter, Blake Bazin lit the lamp 91 seconds in for the game's only score so far.
They are definitely shadowing Alex Ryan. They are not letting him get anywhere near open to get a pass.
Well, we asked Coach Singer back on Sunday on FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We asked him, how do you prepare for a player as talented as Ryan is? And typical coach speak, he wouldn't give any real information on that. But it looks like they're trying to keep a defender with him without the ball. Right?
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up because when that interview was going on, I when you asked that question of him, I said, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
No.
And I knew he wouldn't. But yeah, number 17 is shadowing him. That's Daniker, sophomore LSM. And, hey, that happens a lot with the guns out there. You go 5-on-5 and you're willing to try it.
Remember, this is a young team. We mentioned Broom. He's the senior on his way to Catholic University. Stone, the face-off guy. But outside of that, you got Evan Mayotte as we get this one knocked out of bounds here.
I don't know what we got here, but we have a flag on the far side. Oh, and he just threw it and picked it up.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that's all about.
Meanwhile, this one is turned over.
Yeah.
Little miscommunication, I think, along the near sideline for St. Thomas. It leads to another pass that ends up out of bounds. So Windham forcing turnovers here in this first quarter, but may give it right back. Trying to close in as Conley does get there. Ball slows on the grass in times to stay in bounds. But this one thrown over the head of the target.
Wow.
A little windy here, I suppose. It's overcast. Temperature 64 degrees at game time, but, well, can be the case in any game, no matter what time you play or the conditions. Sometimes players need time to adjust to the speed and get into the game.
Yeah, it seems like it's always overcast when we come here, too. Oh, that's got to be a penalty. There we go.
Bazin on the clear, ran into a jam, and now a flag flies after Bazin loses possession.
I think it's going to be 19 with a push.
And that's Stone, again, one of 3 seniors for St. Thomas. We get a look at that replay right in the back.
No, that was not a question. There's no question.
Definite extension there and a bad angle.
Yeah. All right, so their man up looked pretty good. They got a good take on the first go-round. Let's see if they can do something that's a little more effective here. Skill-wise, it's what's hurting them. They're not getting good, hard, accurate passes.
Second penalty against the Saints.
And they just
Basin's
step it
going to
down.
make him pay. The blast comes from straight away. Maybe 16 yards out?
Yeah.
Pretty deep shot to put Windham up 2-0.
And again, a bounce shot. And we talk about that often. And especially on this grass here. Good left-handed step down, really no coverage at all. And, you put it on the ground, anything can happen.
So a man-up goal for Basin. In fact, 2 goals for Basin here early. Windham up 2-0. Basin on his way to Denver. One of a few guys, right? 5?
Yeah.
No, 6 in all that are going to be playing college lacrosse next year for Windham. Jaguars looking for their 7th win, trying to bounce back from their lone loss last time out against Dairyfield. That was 6 days ago. Meanwhile, Stone's got another face-off win, now 3-0 at the X, and it leads to St. Thomas's first goal. Anthony DiMartino able to catch and fire on that far wing to beat Milano and put his team on the board. Saints within 1 at now 2-1.
Yeah, I actually thought that on this fast break they had a chance right there before the check came up from the defender, and he pulls it back and gets an even better shot. Good awareness out there for DiMartino. I like that.
Takes just 7 seconds. They go from X to the back of the net. The ball does. St. Thomas needed that, and they get it. With now inside of 2 minutes remaining here in this first quarter. Just 1 goal through the first, 10 minutes, and then 2 7 seconds apart. Here's a first face-off win for Windham. That's Mason Kettlar, the sophomore, after Jaguars went 0 for 3 to begin the game at the X. Down to 90 seconds. You can hear Coach Singer on the St. Thomas sideline trying to direct this defense. Start to hear the Saints players responding. Pass near the cage. Conley kind of jammed up there at the release point. Good defensive recovery by Caden Caswell. Meanwhile, this stays active in the far corner. Windham going to keep it here as we're down to now 1 minute remaining first quarter.
St. Thomas has got some pretty steady defense going on out there. They're not overcommitting.
Pretty good check there from Owen Birch a moment ago. Member of this talented sophomore class. Pass in the middle. Somehow goes through everybody until it's scooped up on the far side by St. Thomas sophomore George Denneker. Denneker involved in a big collision there on the sideline.
Timeout.
And we got a timeout. It comes with 32 seconds remaining. And that may have been a timeout to save the possession.
Yeah, I think it actually was, and good for St. Thomas there, because Daneker was, while he was hitting bodies, the ball was coming out of his stick, so he must have gotten it just before then.
Nick Vastus, Roger Howe here with you. A good crowd on hand. Always is here in Windham, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what season, what sport. Members of the youth community here. Looks like some young lacrosse players seated off to our right. You got the parents. A lot of photographers, it seems like, as well.
Yeah, interesting.
A lot of amateur photographers, it seems like, in addition to our crew on the sideline here with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. So always a good atmosphere here and a growing program, Roger, under Sean Young. As we know, Joe Young, excuse me. I called him Sean earlier. No, Joe. Yes, I apologize. He's he certainly has steered the ship in the right direction over the last few seasons.
Yeah, indeed he has. And, maybe one of the reasons why we've got so many photographers out there is that there's, they're getting ready for the old recruiting tour coming up. As everyone out there knows, you don't see a lot of college coaches at high school games, especially New Hampshire, and especially at public schools. But this is how you're going to get that record to put into the recruiting video and so forth. And you're right. There's certainly a lot of that going on here today. But, Joe Young, real good friends with Coach Hetler, grew up in the same area of New York.
That's right.
As Coach Hetler. Knew Joe in the Tomahawk days when he was coming in and I was just about to leave, and he's come a long way with this program.
All right, out of the timeout. Half minute. Saints trying to get out of their own end. They're going to go back to the goaltender, Allaire. They're going to jog unchallenged out of the net for now.
No, just go. Let him go, baby.
Yeah, clearing himself with 15 to go.
Yeah. And
now here he comes. Thinking about it. Looks for a man last second,
Off
and there's the
crossbar.
finish.
Ooh, they're going to give it to him?
I thought it went in.
Wow. Get it up, Ben.
The officials are going to say count it.
Wow.
Count it for Finnegan Connor. The junior attackman able to flash towards the cage and take the pass from the goaltender. We get a look at it.
Ooh, yeah.
It bounced down and then in, right?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with that.
I think it bounced. It hit off the underside of the crossbar and bounced almost straight down.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So an assist for the goaltender.
At 9 seconds, Nick.
Yep, with just 9 seconds remaining. Seen some timely goals this week. That's neither here nor there, but we see one here with 9 seconds to go to tie the game at 2.
Yeah, our camera is almost at ground level here, so if that had been up a little higher, we might have seen where that white line was on goal line.
Meanwhile, St. Thomas wants one more. Stone, though, is not going to get it off, and that'll do it. Well, the Jaguars get the first two from Blake Bazin. Anthony DiMartino and Finnegan Connor get the answer late in the quarter to tie the game at 2, and that's where we are as we head to the second quarter. Right back to Windham in just a moment. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, back here in Windham, Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Two teams, two of the better teams in Division 2, meeting here at midseason. Windham looking to get back on the winning track. First action in 6 days. They were last in action back on Saturday and a loss on the road at Derryfield. It was their first defeat of the year after a 6-0 start. So a chance for the home team to get back to 7-1. St. Thomas, meanwhile, it's been kind of back and forth. They found some momentum this week, though, with two earlier victories, including a blowout win at Bow back on Wednesday night. Come in at 4-3 and would like to stay above 500 if they can collect their third straight win.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not sure if that type of layoff for Windham benefits them or not. That was a game that I think they needed to really regroup on some things, and not quite sure they're seeing that on the offensive side today. Conversely, I really like what I'm seeing out of St. Thomas here. There's some awareness out there that even though this is a very young team, there's only 3 seniors on it, they seem to know where each other are, especially on the offensive side of the field. Interesting to see.
They've looked decisive.
Yeah, and especially on that last fast break. I mean, the way DiMartino just kind of pulled it in and didn't just rip one, that's good to see. You see that development and that coaching, from Coach Singer is really holding true.
Again, Scott Singer in his first season got a young group here, only 3 seniors on the roster, but passed the eye test, at least from my amateur opinion, through 12 minutes.
Yeah.
They get 2 goals there in the final 2 minutes to tie this thing at 2. Got a little momentum. We'll see if they have some momentum here to begin this second quarter.
And Stone is starting to pull a string together here.
Yeah, he won the first 3. Wins that one there. However, St. Thomas puts it right back on the ground, and now out of the pileup comes Ryan for the Jaguars. Ryan, near side, firing and denied. O'Connor, again with a good look. Another spectacular save for Allaire. Starting to rack him up. But the Jaguar ride has been a factor. O'Connor with the steal. O'Connor on his way to the cage. Going to be denied again. Tried to go 5-hole there. It was slammed shut by Allaire for his 5th save, I believe.
Yeah, good take, though, there by O'Connor. He really he saw the opening there, and Allaire closed it up.
Well, a body went flying there. That was Connor of St. Thomas. Landed hard on that right shoulder. Trying to get his jersey back on there. It was a pretty big scrum. This game has had kind of a physical tone to it. We saw a couple of cross checks back in that first quarter, and well, you can tell, I think the kids are really loosened up now and letting it fly, right?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, even at the end of that first quarter, as the time expired, Trudell took a little chop at Stone to end that, and they kind of glared at each other. Nice turn.
DiMartino's got his second goal. Good move. The junior able to get a little separation there, and that was enough to make the difference. His second goal. St. Thomas, their first lead. And now 3-2.
Yeah, boy, now smart again. I mean, this guy goes one-on-one, rolls just another little hitch move there, and gets back into his strong side right. Puts it on the goalie's weak side. That's a goal scorer's goal. When you can get it down on belt line weak side as you're jumping and turning out of your dodge, that's something to watch.
St. Thomas, they opened up the year with a 9-4 win over Oyster River and played Winnicott tough on the road in Game 2 for losing 6-5.
I think that's what really got us thinking and, what's going on at St. Thomas when we saw that score. I remember that.
After that, a blowout win at Hollis Brookline that raised some eyebrows. That final was 16-1. That brought them to 2-1. Then they face Exeter, Division I power, and lose there 17-6. Portsmouth, of course, the defending D2 champ, was next on the schedule. Clippers won that 12-7. That led us to this week, where again St. Thomas handed Kingswood a 16-0 defeat, and then beat Bow on the road 19-8 for their second straight win, trying to make it 3-3 this week if they can wrap things up here on the road. They lead 3-2. Jaguars trailing for the first time. Look for a bouncer from Crawley. Sophomore shot ends up wide right. Foot race is won by St. Thomas, goaltender in the area, and that may have made the difference. Allaire given possession, and the Saints get the stop that they were hoping for.
Again, awareness, and paying attention to what's going on in the field in every aspect of the game. Good play.
Player open here. That's the freshman, Estes. Closed out on Bazin, takes a swipe at him. Estes is going to come behind the net now. 2 players behind the cage, flipped over to DiMartino, trying to find some spacing now. Bazin going to creep closer to the freshman, take another whack at him, running to his right, firing low. Denied. Milano, a good save, quick outlet. Taken on the run here by Crawley. Crawley across midfield has Ryan. Ryan looks for his teammate near side.
Nice.
That shot whizzes out of O'Connor's stick. Flies out of bounds, opposite corner. Will stay with the Jaguars.
I liked what Estes did on that shot that Milano just saved. He dropped everything down and tried to go very, very low through traffic, and Milano picked it up. Two good plays.
3 minutes gone by, second quarter. Windham looking to end a bit of a dry spell. Scored a man-up goal, I guess, with a little over a minute remaining in that second quarter. Scored their first goal with about a minute and a half gone by to open up the game. Again, Coach Singer, you can hear him directing this defense. Bazin, tough angle, bouncer.
Yeah, but Murray picked right up on him and disrupted that shot.
Yeah.
Can't quite hear what Singer is saying. What's he saying over there?
He's saying Max, I think.
Max, okay. Yeah, he's looking for Murray.
Looking for his defensive captain.
Yeah.
Well, whatever he was looking for, I think he'll take this. The Saints force another turnover. Pass too strong. Sales out of bounds near side. Easy clear here along the near sideline for Broom. Senior trots into the zone, and now the attack back in business for the Saints. Looking to cook up their fourth unanswered. With now 4 minutes gone by, second quarter. It's like subs both ways. Stone jogging back on for the Saints. He may be the tallest player out there either way.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
He's got a few inches on his defender.
Can't
reel this one in, though, overhead. Freshman backs him up. Estes, gutsy play, gets it out of a crowd. Looks near side. Tough catch for DeTola, his classmate. Youngster decided to pull it back out. Well, to your point a moment ago, Roger, Saints showing some poise here.
They really are. Two freshmen out there on your starting six on offense, too. And they don't look shook or out of place at all.
No. DiMartino.
Good turn, too. Little question mark move there. A little farther out.
Sailed on him a bit. A couple inches over the crossbar. It's backed up by Connor. He'll stay here again with the Saints. But now 5 minutes gone by in the frame. Well, now it's Coach Young's turn to be heard on that far sideline trying to direct the defense.
There it is.
DiMartino still on the run.
Nice.
Fires and scores, but a whistle first. He's going to wave this off.
It looks like you had a guy in the crease on the backside.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a crowd near the cage. Somebody had a toe or so on the line.
Look at Murray coming up.
The long pole on the clear. This is Jacob Spallinger.
Wow.
Took a shot at the 50 as well. Pass broken up. It's loose. And a good play here by Conley, able to shove his man off that ground ball to scoop it.
Yeah, I like what the Saints did there on the ride. They came right up and they brought Murray right up to the 50-yard line. We used to call that a turkey shoot back in the day. You bring your defensive midfielder up and disrupt the middle.
Meanwhile, Bazin trying to hang on. Bazin
almost
had it for a moment but couldn't avoid that final hit. It's going to roll back to midfield just in front of us here on the near sideline. Bazin gets some help from his teammate Denton. Jaguars still just trying to possess it here. Heavy pressure. Ryan Dan, the junior, going to get the job done finally for the home team. Trot behind the cage, and now he lets Conley take over. Midway through, second quarter. The Windham attack trying to find the answer. They've been scoreless for the entire second quarter. This one's going to roll, get whacked at the last moment. Denton head down, runs into a wall. Good play here by the long pole. That's Britton Dunbar. Junior making a play. Forced the turnover, scoops up the ground ball, comes up with the clear, and now the Saints are back on the attack as we're inside of 5 minutes until halftime.
Loved that ground ball and acceleration by the long pole. Loved it. Well done, Dunbar.
And now the senior tri-captain Broom going to work it over to the freshman Estes. Damaris, the defender, looking to come out and challenge all the way to near midfield. Estes, quick as a cat to his right, draws the slide. Pass taken by Connor. Connor going to weave his way behind the net. Reverse direction. Picked up on the switch by the defender, Andrew Trudell. Near side off the skip pass, DiMartino hits the gas behind the cage and now back trotting his way.
Had him hung.
Still in the boundary, looking for a cutter. Comes near side, wants to shoot it himself and finds a way to score. Well, it looked like the goaltender Milano got an initial piece there, but never quite had it. And DiMartino's got the first half hat trick here. St. Thomas with 4 unanswered. Out in front 4-2.
He might have actually gotten screened on this too, because DiMartino looked like he was going to hold up and pass across. He got a nice big jump there. Yeah, I think he got screened a little bit by number 2, but just the same, that's a hattie for him.
Coming up at halftime, we'll recap this first half. Get you the stats, highlights, analysis, plus a busy, very busy,
huge
Friday here in week number 4. Out-of-town scoreboard on the way as well. That's all coming up at halftime.
And Bill Ball must have had a heck of a time scheduling officials for today, because there's 14 games and there's close to 30 refs.
Always seems to nail it, though, doesn't he? There's never seemingly a problem with lack of officials or, come game time, he's got sometimes 3 guys on the bigger games. He really does do a good job from a scheduling standpoint.
He's done an absolutely fantastic job for years and years, even on the youth level.
As if he doesn't have enough on his plate.
Yeah.
Of course, head football coach, and most importantly of all, the athletic director over at Exeter. Meanwhile, we got a timeout here with 4 minutes remaining. Jaguars trailing 4-2 here after they got out to that 2-0 start. Our broadcast is brought to you by Beals Insurance. Locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit MGSportsFundraising.com. By New Hampshire iPhone Repair. It's done while you wait. It's backed by their lifetime warranty. Now with 6 locations in southern New Hampshire and on the seacoast, visit NHiPhoneRepair.com. By the New Hampshire Tomahawks Showcase and Development for College Lacrosse. Visit NHTomahawks.com and also girls.NHTomahawks.com. By the Dead River Company, a full-service heating provider committed to keeping New Hampshire warm with propane and heating oil. Learn more at deadriver.com. And finally, by the Bean Group and Roger Howe Real Estate, your local professional for all types of real estate, residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties. Call 603-247-1583. Nick Anastas with Roger Howe here. Kind of an overcast sky, but nonetheless,
no rain.
No rain is the big key. Again, it's been a wet month, really. Wet start to the month. It was wet in April. But I'm okay with it. No more snow. No more 20-degree afternoons. This I'll take.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's more coming, I hear. In looking at the forecast for the coming week, we're going to hit some 70s and some mid-70s by the look. So hope we see that, and some sun.
Yep.
Quick one for you here while we were talking about the officials and Bill Ball. We've got Roland St. Germain and Jim Prusher out there as the officials for this game. I always like to give our friends that run the show out there a shout out.
A couple of longtime vets, right?
Yeah, Roland's been in it for about 10 years. He got in just as I was in the midst of the high school, so I don't know him as well. But Jim Prusher, Jim's been around a long time. He did a lot of my JV games back in the day.
All right, what's the message here from Coach Young? Windham, a bit of a dry spell here, looking for their first goal the second quarter, down 2 for the first time. What was said in the huddle a moment ago?
Give the ball to Alex and let him get off of that wing and start creating some offense. I don't even think he has a shot on goal. So,
yeah, you might be right on that. You got to credit the long stick sophomore George Deniker, as you already did.
Yeah.
But he's really done a good job face guarding perhaps Wyndham's best player.
Yeah, I mean when you get face guarded like that and you're literally out of the offense, you either play into it and work with 5-on-5 sets, or you find a way to play a two-man game and shake him loose behind the net with a switch or something like that. You've got to be a little more creative than what they're doing right now.
Inside of 4 minutes, second quarter. Jaguars with 2 goals from Blake Bazin early. One of those on the EMO. Gave Windham a 2-0 lead late in the first quarter. Saints got 2 goals in the final minute. DiMartino's first, and then Connor. Second quarter, 2 more from DiMartino, and that's where we are here at 4-2.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Coach Young had going over here. You saw over here in the far right in the corner, they had 3 guys in rotations trying to shake something loose there, and as they did that, Alex Ryan came through the slot into the crease and is now up top. They're going to do it on the left side now. There we go. Get him loose.
All right, they got him the ball.
Get him loose.
Trying to get the step. Slide comes over. All eyes on the future Bentley Falcon.
Get him loose right there.
There's the shot. Ends up high. And we'll stay right here with Windham.
Well, one thing that was to the Saints' benefit there is that the switch went from number 17 to number 47, Murray. Murray got the switch on him, and he's the top guy out there. But good play by Windham. I like it.
Meanwhile, Denton for Crawley. Nowhere to go. Pulls it back out. We're inside of 3 minutes, second quarter. Bazin trying to work inside the long pole. Got the step. Scoops it back to Crawley. Works it for Denton. The ball betrays him. It flies out of his stick. Denton fires a pass. Goal line extended. Backtrack for the middle. Bazin had the cut. Can't reel it in. This one ends up out of bounds back to the Saints.
Man.
Right idea, but the execution a little off.
Well, they had that same problem down on this end here in the first quarter. They had a great look across the box and looked for the open skip, and it just did not connect. You got. I wish we had split screens to be watching Daneker and Ryan. Ryan, or it just has no room.
Meanwhile, mistake here on the clear for Trudell. Pass to his left, and then I think realized that there was nobody over there as it flies out of bounds to that far side. So both teams have had inconsistencies against the ride here in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a drought in between the boxes, but the Saints they were without the ball on offense for almost 2.5 minutes there.
We've got it here now inside of 2 minutes. Looking to build on a 4-2 lead. DiMartino denied by Milano. Good over-shoulder save by the senior. Now the goaltender out of the net. Avoids a hit at the last moment. Finds his teammate, the long pole, Patrick Furtado. One of the tri-captains headed to Riviere with a nice outlet pass. And a good spin move here by Dunham. Senior avoids 2 Saint defenders. Goes behind the cage.
That was really well done, too. Right
Big
from the
clear.
start when he had to catch, he had to catch it almost behind him.
Yeah, and avoid a hit. Looked like it was coming up high, too. Down on minute 15, they get it to Ryan. Here's that marquee matchup we talked about. The senior, step to his right, gets away from Daneker, looks for his shot, but again, kind of flies out awkwardly. Well out of play. It'll stay with Windham.
Yeah, Caswell got a stick on it just as he was following through on that.
Down to 1 minute, first half. Jaguars trying to cut the Saints' lead in half. Ryan draws a second St. Thomas defender. And wing it to the middle. O'Connor winds up, denied. Another big stop for Allaire. Able to do a split, and he lets out a yell in celebration. Meanwhile, the freshman Estes slips at midfield and gets bailed out along the near sideline by a timeout from his head coach. That's Coach Singer's second charge timeout here. It comes with 42 seconds to go in this first half. Another good call from the sideline to preserve the possession for St. Thomas.
Yeah, we've seen some very, very good, astute, and aware timeouts this season. I'm very impressed. Not that I wouldn't be otherwise with the quality of coaches we've seen this year. But, yeah, I mean, again, with 42 seconds left, you got that one in your back pocket. So good time. Good time to use it.
Well, what's the message here coming up at halftime, Roger? I'd imagine you already kind of touched on it with Windham. Find ways to get Ryan more involved. If you're St. Thomas and you can hang on to this 4-2 lead, anything different about how you approach the second half with a lead as as opposed to being trailed, or is it too early at this point for any glaring adjustment?
Well, immediately with what we have in front of us here with this timeout, you want to play for last shot. I mean, you're up by 2 goals. I think you wait until perhaps maybe around the 15-second mark before you start firing away here. Kill that clock as much as you can. Second half, you come out here as St. Thomas, and you just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really see where there's any deficiencies here. What I was going to say, though, on that last shot by DiMartino, where he came in and shot it literally right in Milano's chest, his movement and his dodge on that left side, that right side, he needs to mix that up a little bit. He can't keep doing the hop and jump and shoot high. He's going to have to change that up a little bit because they're going to key in on him.
All right, St. Thomas out of the timeout. Ready to put it in play here along the near sideline. Again, it's the senior Marcus Broom, who has played well here in this first half. 2 Jaguar defenders in the area. Broom going to trot towards one of them. It's the long stick, Adam Burke. Burke going to close in, put a couple of hits on. Taking over goal line extended now by DiMartino, who's clearly in no hurry to your point. We move inside of 30 seconds. Back up top, the freshman, Estes. Spins left. Trying to shake the man, Damaris. Near side, wide open. Shot, DiMartino, knocked down by Milano. Goaltender down on his knees. Able to secure it ultimately with 10 seconds. Now a long outlet pass. Taken in the middle of the field. This is Conley. Conley had it poked loose from behind. Another good defensive play by Daniker. He's going to get to the ground ball and he's going to run out the clock. Or did he step out of bounds first?
He did.
He did, but I think the officials may not have seen it, and we get ourselves to halftime. 4-2, St. Thomas at the break. A good second quarter for the visitors in search of their 3rd straight win. They score 4 unanswered goals, and doubling up a good Windham team at halftime.
Yeah, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing with St. Thomas. 2 freshmen out there on offense that are not, afraid to attack the defense. They don't look like they don't know what they're doing, and there's some skill there. Windham looks just a little bit raggedy on offense. And I think we said that somewhere in the middle of the Derryfield game, that they just looked a little bit unorganized or just uncertain, and feel like they've always got to get back in the game with one play. We'll see how they figure that out in the second half.
All right, coming up, look back at the first half. Full recap, stats, and highlights, plus an out-of-town scoreboard look on a busy Friday here in week number 4. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com.
Hey, I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and affordable repair shop for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and even Android needs. Don't worry, we're affordable, reliable, and we back our parts with a lifetime warranty. And do you know what the best part is? No, what? We can repair your phone while you wait.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Green. Here's your iPad, good as new. Bring your phone into New Hampshire iPhone Repair today.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today.
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company, it's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
Halftime here in Windham. St. Thomas looking for their third straight win, leading the Jaguars 4-2. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Windham, after nearly a full week off, came out looking like they were ready to go. They scored 2 goals to take a 2-0 lead early in that first quarter. Blake Bazin scored both of them. The second was on a man-up opportunity. And at the 2-minute mark first quarter, they had also kept St. Thomas off the board. But that's seemingly when the Saints came alive. Anthony DiMartino scored his first to get his club on the board just inside of that 2-minute marker in the first quarter. And then Finnegan Connor with just 9 seconds left tied the game at 2, and that's where we were heading into the second quarter. St. Thomas got another from DiMartino almost right away to give the Saints their first lead, and then with just outside of 4 minutes to go in that second quarter, DiMartino lights the lamp for the third time and gets the hat trick. His club leading 4-2 after the Saints able to shut out the Jaguars in that second quarter.
Yeah, we say all that about the scoring, and certainly seeing DiMartino, a freshman, get a hat trick in that first half.
He's a junior.
He's a junior?
Estes and
Estes is the freshman.
He is a junior, yeah. Who am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of that. Yeah, Estes.
And
okay.
Detola. They're both freshmen, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, thanks to you for clarifying that, because these old
we
guys.
didn't want to insult anybody.
Well, that's for sure. I spend all the time putting these rosters together, and I can't even read them. But yes, let us not forget, and we're going to give a shout out to Saint Hilaire, or Mr. Hilaire in goal today. He had the assist with Finn Connor's goal, bringing it all the way down and getting it in the box and making a nice pass to Connor.
Well, he looked pretty good in that first half. You've got the save totals.
Yeah, both goalies actually had 5 saves in that game in the first half, that is, and they did look good. Allaire, I don't even know where that kid came from because we haven't seen them at all this year. But he looked solid.
Meanwhile, St. Thomas got a bit of an advantage in that first half at the face-off X, as Lincoln Stone, the senior, won more than he lost.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he knew where everyone on the wing was when he wanted to place that ball out there. He's a big kid. When we talked about his size during the broadcast in the first half there, a big, tall kid like that going down on the face-off circle now is even harder than it used to be, because they can't crouch, they can't put their knee down.
Right.
They're literally bending over as if they were going to pick up something off the ground with their stick and all that mechanics. And he has dominated. He has done very well.
Somewhat of a rarity for a tall player. Nowadays.
Yeah,
right?
you and I have commented about J.J. Murphy and Cole Frank and how small, good wrestling body types that have all their strength in their core. But good for him. It's nice to see.
All right, Roger. Busy day statewide as we come up on the end of week number 4 here, just past the midway point of this 7-week regular season. And as you said off air, maybe the busiest night of the entire schedule, at least so far.
Yeah, certainly for the broadcasts that we've been doing. I've been tracking the schedule every game. This is the busiest it's ever been. I'm going to tell you something. I had an iPhone since the iPhones came out. I made a dramatic change to a Samsung, and I'm starting to think that it's my phone that's the problem, because out of 14 games, I got nothing.
Right.
There is not a single score that I track on Twitter or Instagram, and I got nothing to offer you right now. But we'll hope to have something by the wrap up. Okay.
That sounds like almost a promo for Apple, right?
Yeah. or get Elon Musk to buy Twitter and fix things. Blame it on him.
All right, Saints. They're going to send Stone right back to the X, where he'll face his counterpart Mason Ketelar, the sophomore, for Windham.
Yeah.
A little bit of a wind here, as we talked about, picking up just a bit here at the start of the second half.
Let's key in on Stone and just see what he's doing mechanic-wise. Maybe he's just got the jump like Murphy does. He's just so quick off the whistle.
How much does raw strength factor in here?
Certainly hand strength, and then once you get that ball down like that, you need to really power through. But, he did everything right there. Just didn't get it.
However, the wing Crawley able to scoop and clear for the Jaguars. Not Crawley, rather, but Damaris.
Yeah, I spoke to the referees after the BG Exeter game the other night, and seasoned referees do a ton of NCAA games, and they said J.J. Murphy is just so quick off the whistle. He is a wrestler, and he, is used to that whistle. Here we go.
Shot.
Outside.
Ends up on the side of the net there.
But, probably more quickness and hand strength than really anything.
That's what I figured, but at some point, if all that being even, then the tiebreaker, so to speak, would be the raw strength.
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be going for the ball now with these new face-off rules. Nice play. Good take by Alex.
Kind of a tough angle from goal line extended, no problem for Allaire, who has his 6th save. Meanwhile, clear attempt on the far side. The senior able to weave his way downfield. That's Broom.
But to answer your question, yes, raw strength does play a part in it, after the whistle. So,
meanwhile, turnover. Crawley right to left. Broom trying to catch up. Bazin takes the pass, shuffles it near side. That one is dropped by Conley. Conley recovers. The defender all over him. That's Caden Coswell. And now here's Bazin against Max Murray. This has been a good matchup to watch as well. Bazin gets the step, finds Conley. That shot, though, bounces wide. Well, we've seen, Roger, a few times now where the Jaguars will find an open player near the cage, but for one reason or another, they've come up empty.
Yeah, and that really was Bazin's fault on that pass because he should be trying to pass it to him on stick side, and that just didn't happen. And then here's another bad pass here.
Yeah, we've seen also some unforced errors as well.
That being one.
A few balls have flown out of bounds, really both ways. Saints seemed like in the first few minutes they had really had a trouble clearing against the Jaguar ride. They've settled in since. And again have scored 4 unanswered. Estes faked the pass, left his feet there at the top of the box. Swings it far side to Stone instead with 2.5 gone by third quarter. Stone calls his own number. Shot a laser there through the crowd, ends up wide of the goaltender. Backed up by DiMartino, who's got the restart. Draws a slide, wide open up top, but denied. Good shot there for Broom. Had a chance to step down and let it loose, but Milano, no problem on tracking that one.
Yeah, good mechanics by Milano there. He was in the right position and was able to see it nicely.
Meanwhile, Ryan eventually comes up with the clear for the Jaguars. He's going to slow to a stop. St. Thomas paid that young man a lot of attention, a lot of defensive attention in that first half. And thus have held the Bentley commit off the scoreboard, at least for now.
Yeah.
See if Coach Young has anything different in terms of the game plan here to try and get him some more shots.
Well, they're parking him in a 2 slot here on the crease, so not sure what that's all about there, but it's different. It's different.
Going to swing it near side. Conley to come off the pick, the bouncer. Right idea, but just a bit over the top of the crossbar.
Ground is very hard. As you can see that the bounces are really true and they're taking off.
Meanwhile, Dan draws a slide. Another good switch. Saints defense has held Windham off the board.
That's a take. Ooh.
Since over what, about the 1 minute mark back in the first quarter. Allaire with another save. Big reason why, but that defense in front of him has been excellent. Broom almost was able to clear it. Last moment, it's taken away from behind by Ryan. Conley now down the chute, going to fire and score. Evan Conley, one of the tri-captains, the senior on his way to Villanova. Shows you why there. He's got Windham back within 1 at 4-3.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I want to see this. I thought Windham was offsides at the very start of that, but no flag, no whistle. Nice 5-hole. Conley breaking through there. Okay. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, we're getting some feedback here from the crowd, so.
Is that a St. Thomas fan?
Yeah, I think so.
Made the long drive from Dover.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I think I got it right. I think they were offsides.
All right. So we got a 1-goal game again. 4.5 gone by third quarter. Stone's going to win this. With some help from his teammate John Reeve, the junior midfielder. Reeve.
Push it.
On the cage. DiMartino had a hat trick in that first half.
Nice look.
Back door. Shot jammed up.
Yeah.
Good defensive piece of work there by Burke.
Yeah.
Burke wins the foot race, but I think stepped out of bounds there in the corner. Saints are going to get it back.
I like the way that Coach Singer had them go right to the goal. We saw that the other night with Bishop Girton. You know, Exeter gets one and starts to turn the tide a little bit, and then you put a dagger in it by, you know, scoring right off the face-off. I like the pushing of the ball.
Well, it ended a near 15-minute drought.
Yeah.
15 minutes of game time. Meanwhile, Milano, another save. Stays patient for the moment. Outlet pass dropped up the middle.
Bringing Murray over again. Love that.
Well, a few different players with an opportunity before Ryan eventually comes up with it.
Numbers.
Windham with numbers. Yep. Conley going to swerve and pull it back out instead.
Smart play.
Good recovery by the Saints. Now, though, Windham with a chance to tie the game here midway through the third quarter. Ryan to his right wants one.
There it is.
And gets one. Well, you can only contain him. You can't stop him. Ryan going to get his first goal here at the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this kid you can't keep him in one spot on the field. I don't care what you say. He has got to be roaming the top of the box like that. You can't park him on the wing all game. And here he manufactures that because he just outruns the defense, and there is no slide.
Heck of a shot, too. Good placement on that.
Yeah. He's picked up where Levine left off.
Yeah, that's, of course, that's a tall order.
Yeah.
A kid who's now at Syracuse. But those two made a good combo last year before Levine graduated last June.
Yeah, but we saw him do that many times what Alex Ryan had just done there last season.
Yep. Saints trying to get the lead back. Windham has scored 2 straight. Now inside of 6 minutes here, third quarter. Broom to his right. Going to keep up there is Jake Galliot-Santos.
Good defense.
Long stick defender behind cage, Di Martino. Being hacked at there by Trudell. Going to swing it near side. Connor looks for the step, fires, and scores. Finnegan Connor, great move. Explosive first step. He's got his second goal, and more importantly, he's got his team back out in front. It's now 5-4 St. Thomas.
And again, just a goal scorer's placement of this shot. He goes to his right hand, and he doesn't have a whole lot of space there, but what's he do? Go bounce shot up and on the far side of the cage. Just a good, aware shot with what he had.
A quick answer for the visitors as well, about 50 seconds after the Ryan goal.
Yeah.
Just over 5 minutes, third quarter. Stone going to win another. Pumps the brakes and avoids the traffic. Now in a sprint to that far side. It's going to allow Coach Singer to get some new bodies here into the lineup, including this kid who's got the ball. That's Marcus Broom.
Good competitive contest going now.
Yep. We figured it'd be a good one, right? We took a look last week, saw the direction these teams seemingly were headed, and figured this one would be a good matchup. It's been tight the entire way. 2-goal lead a moment ago for St. Thomas, their largest. They're going to match that here with Di Martino's 4th goal. The junior fired up, celebrating with his guys. They're back on top by 2, now 6-4.
Boy, he knows where to put this ball, too, and now we're seeing him come out from goal line extended, that 5x5 area, and now he gets a good dodge across the midfield and spreads it out a little bit. Very versatile player.
Coming fast and furious now. 4 total goals in the last 3 minutes, 3 in the last minute and a half, and back-to-back goals for St. Thomas just 38 seconds apart. This one's still loose off the face-off, and the face-off man eventually gets to it. Perhaps appropriately for this kid, St. Thomas's Fogo, who's giving them an advantage here now through 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, and he's He's an offensive threat on the midfield, too. They don't just park him on the bench. They bring him right back out there on his own shift. We're giving him a rest right now, but
we're seeing John Reeve trot on in his place. They give it to Reeve here as we hit 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Reeve going to dance, now attack the defender head on, trying to spin away from Brian Damaris, who's right with him. Damaris knocks it loose. Now a pig pile far side. The freshman had a line on it for the moment, but Estes can't locate it for St. Thomas.
Loose ball.
DiMartino goes flying. Ultimately, it's the long pole Trudell who has it for Windham. Pass intended for Damaris. Takes a bounce past the defender. It's backed up by his teammate Conley, who now jogs to a stop here on the near side wing for Windham.
There it is. Watch.
Got the cutter. It's Ryan, the dangerous senior. Comes middle. Lost it. Took a hit at the end of the play as well. Bazin with it, though, for Windham. Back near side, Denton. Looking back door. Intercepted. Good defensive play. Able to pluck it out of the air. Owen Birch, sophomore, on the move now. He's got the clear as we had 3 minutes to go, second quarter. St. Thomas by 2, looking for more. Connor going to tiptoe behind the net. Staying with him step for step is Furtado, one of the tri-captains, one of their better defenders. The Windham veteran going to keep him at arm's length. St. Thomas okay with that. They'll pull it out and work some clock here with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, I got to give it to Blake Bazin to get back on that defensive side of the ball. Man, he cut that fast break off with his speed and forced St. Thomas to pull up and get the numbers back. But good hustle.
Meanwhile, a patient Saints possession here. This young squad has been selective all afternoon. Stone back near side. Connor, good move at the cage, but Milano robs him. Slams the cupboard door shut at the last moment. Outlet collected by Bazin. Guns a pass middle. Denton catches it on the move. Denton down the middle. Takes a big hit. Whistle. Not going to come.
No.
Official looked like he was grabbing for the flag, but in the end, we play on as we hit 2 minutes to go, third quarter.
I don't think Denton was looking to his right. I don't think his vision gave him the ability to see what was coming in.
Meanwhile, the Saints trying to protect it in their own end here on the clear. They free up the defender. Murray gets an open pass and ultimately does cross midfield.
Another tip.
Furtado got a piece. Now Furtado trying to hunt it down for Windham here in the near corner. There's 5 players involved in this scrum. Trudell gets it.
Good play.
Makes the effort for the home team. Now Milano trying to weave his way out of his own net.
Okay, yeah. Failure to advance. Goalie's only got a set amount of time to be in that goal before he's unprotected, and then he's got to get out of there, and he did not do it there. Yeah, he didn't see that coming, I don't think, Nick. What do you think?
I'm for less whistles and more hits. If I can put that any more frank, I will, but down to a minute. We've got a situation here again with St. Thomas. Roger, I asked you this earlier about the approach with the lead as we get further and further into the second half. Now with less than a minute to go, third quarter.
Yeah, with a minute, I'm going to the goal.
Shot, score. Can't pass that one up, though. Yeah. 2 open, perhaps. Finnegan Connor, he's got the hat trick. Second Saint to hit the 3-goal mark here this afternoon. Speaking of 3-goal mark, St. Thomas up 3 for the first time at 7-4.
Yeah, just as you asked me that, and they produce.
He's wide open.
Yeah, wide open, and you go right to the net. Yeah, you got plenty of time. And I'm going to give our boy DiMartino a big apple on that, too.
Yeah,
nice look.
He's putting together quite the game. DiMartino with 4 goals. And now Connor starting to put it together himself with 3. Those 2 have been the 2 guys, that's it, to score so far. But how about St. Thomas? 4 unanswered back in that first half, and now 3 unanswered here late in the third quarter. Stone, kind of the glue, piecing everything together as well with another face-off win to give the Saints an advantage in terms of time of possession.
Yeah, I'm becoming a Stone fan. He's an athlete. He's not just somebody they stuck out there to clamp and run.
Coach Singer okay with the last shot here. 20 seconds.
Now you play. Yep.
Estes Gets the green light, trying to put the move on Dunham. Gives it to DiMartino. He's got Connor near side, took his eye off the ball. Picks it back up off the grass, down to 5 seconds.
Get to middle.
Looking to attack, coming middle, trying to free himself up. Shot, score! And that's going to beat the third quarter buzzer. What a shot by Finnegan Connor. His second goal of the quarter, his fourth of the game. And this St. Thomas crowd, which has made the trek from Dover, celebrating here in Windham at least through 3 quarters. 8-4 as we head to the fourth. St. Thomas have looked like the better team so far. Will Windham wrestle it away on their home field in the end? We begin to find out next. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Start of the fourth quarter here in Windham. St. Thomas looking good through 3 quarters, doubling up the Jaguars 8-4. As we get set for the final 12 minutes of regulation, Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you from Windham. Good atmosphere, as you can tell. Always a good home presence for Windham. And some Dover fans, or St. Thomas fans, making the drive from the seacoast from Dover.
Yeah, it's always good to see. I mean, I drove from the seacoast today, and it's not the most pleasant drive if you're, driving down 495 or 101. Give him, it's like when I was, chasing my boys in college. It's, where's the game today?
Yeah.
We're on the road.
Yeah. Well, it's been a good game as well. It looked like Windham was off to the start they were hoping for. They led 2-0. Blake Bazin a couple really right off the bat in that first quarter, and then St. Thomas started to flex their muscles. 2 goals in the final minute of the first quarter, tied the game at 2, and then they score another 2 before halftime in that second quarter. They keep the Jaguars off the board, and they took a 4-2 lead into the locker room. Windham came back with goals from Evan Connolly and Alex Ryan to tie the game at 4. That was midway through that third quarter, but then an explosive finish again for St. Thomas as they go on a 4-0 run. Finnegan Connor's second, Anthony DiMartino's fourth, and then 2 for Connor in the final minute, including one that just beat the buzzer a moment ago. We were talking off air. This is the second time this week that we here at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire have seen a buzzer beater. There was one back on Wednesday night just before halftime, scored by Bedford in their eventual win against Portsmouth. So it's been kind of a lucky week for us in that regard in terms of exciting last-second goals.
Yeah. And there's Stone again.
Stone has been the man at the X, Roger.
He stepped out.
Did he? Yep.
Yes, he did.
Yep, you're all over it. Yep. Good defensive effort there by Brian Damaris, the junior, starting to piece together a good game for Windham.
Yes. And I like what Connor did at the end of that quarter. When you have, under 10 seconds, you want to get it to the middle of the field. You want to get every opportunity to get a good shot off, and he did exactly that with no time to spare.
Jaguars down 4 for the first time.
Ooh, bad pass.
Sails away from the goaltender Milano. O'Connor tried to whack at it. Tried to get a piece, but couldn't. Turned back over to the Saints. Seems like this St. Thomas ride has gotten gotten better as the game has gone on.
Yeah, they're playing just a very simple press ride, and Milano really didn't need to pass that the way he did. Just move your body and create 2-on-1s at the corners of the half field, and you'll get movement going. But he was looking for the long strike there. Makes the ride very, very easy when you're forcing them into long bomb shots.
And now I'd imagine Coach Singer really stressing the patience aspect here on attack, right, with a 4-goal lead.
Absolutely.
Stone coming downhill, back door, cutter, not home. Backed up, though, once again by Broom.
Yeah, he wants it way out. He wants isolation 101s going on here, and I bet he's going to be looking at the middle, too. He wants to see his guys work.
Grass still a little slippery, like we've said. It's rained off and on really throughout the week here in Windham. Seen a couple of players slip on that green grass. Meanwhile, a shot from Stone ends up just a bit wide. Off to the goaltender's right. It's backed up by DiMartino in this near corner.
Yeah, I mean, both teams do play on natural grass. Last I knew, St. Thomas was playing on natural grass, and they should have the right cleats on there for that. Ooh, right up around him.
Broom. Going to draw Damaris out. Going to float a pass far side for Connor. Already 2 minutes gone by, fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Two players combining for 8 goals for St. Thomas, 4 goals apiece for juniors Finnegan Connor and Anthony DiMartino. Connor has got his 5th. Excellent placement there. And that shot had some mustard on it as well. 5 unanswered by St. Thomas, and they lead by 5.
And I'll tell you, Coach Singer was over there directing the offense to clear the alley on the left side. And instead of Connor going down the left side, he goes right down the middle and goes into his left hand and just fires away right into where the rest of the team had cleared out for him. But he placed it again in that right spot where you want a goalie. Belt side high, weak side on the goalie, and he just nailed it.
St. Thomas looking for their 3rd straight win. It'll be their 3rd win this week. A chance to improve to 5-3 before taking on Spalding, D1 Spalding. Are they D1 in lacrosse?
No,
they're D2 now.
D2.
Yeah.
They were.
They're D1 and everything else.
Yeah, they've never been D1. They've been.
So they'll take on Spalding, D2 Spalding on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Windham's next game, by the way, is at Winnicunnet. So that's a tough, tall order coming up for Windham next week. All right, our broadcast tonight, as usual, brought to you by Beals Insurance, locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. By New Hampshire iPhone Repair. It's done while you wait. It's backed by their lifetime warranty. Now with 6 locations in southern New Hampshire and on the seacoast, visit NHiPhoneRepair.com. By the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NHTomahawks.com and girls.NHTomahawks.com. By the Dead River Company, a full-service heating provider committed to keeping New Hampshire warm with propane and heating oil. Learn more at deadriver.com. And finally by the Bean Group and Roger Howe Real Estate, your local professional for all types of real estate, residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties. Call 603-247-1583. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. And as we talked about a little bit at the top of the broadcast, Roger, once Monday rolls around, we'll certainly, I think, have a better idea, maybe a little better idea of where some of these teams are in this very crowded Division Two.
Yeah, and as I'm looking here at the standings, picking up on where you were mentioning both teams and their schedules moving forward, Windham definitely has the tougher week next week with Winnacunnet and Portsmouth on their schedule, and Spalding and Winnacunnet for the Saints. But again, I'm going to go back to what I said about Conval. Co-Brown is in that mixed with two other teams in the middle of the standings, and we might have a couple sleepers coming out of some of these games that we're not even talking about right now, just because of that cluster that's happening in D2.
The deepest of the three divisions.
Clearly.
The biggest and deepest. And most parity-filled, for sure.
Yeah. Ooh.
Milano with a save. Able to deny DiMartino. Ground ball, though, goes to St. Thomas's Finley DeTola, the freshman, sticking his nose out there for his team, making a play.
Look where he shot that ball, too, Nick. They had the scout on Milano, and it's clearly on the weak side. He's looking everything on his left side.
Pass knocked down. Connor trying to keep it alive for the Saints, and eventually dug out for a moment by Broom, but he lost it as well.
Well done.
Connor, in the end, able to keep it away from Furtado and keep it with the Saints. Well, the action's been on the St. Thomas side of the field for quite a while, and that's in part due to the traffic cop over there on the far sideline. First-year head coach Scott Singer.
I am eyeballing him, and everything is being pushed up to the top of the box.
Very hands-on, really on both ends this afternoon.
Yeah.
Tough angle shot is going to take a bounce.
Oh, that is
and the officials say count it. How about goal number 6 for Finnegan Connor, the junior, having maybe a career night here, leading St. Thomas now to a 10-4 lead.
Well, again, he saved this whole offensive possession on the sideline by pulling a rake ground ball and getting that up, and then traveling on the other side of the field, and then picking it back up to reverse fields and get the shot off. And that ball had so much backspin on it, it just kind of floated up over Milano. But boy, you're right. It might be a career game for that kid.
6 goals at the varsity level.
Yeah, junior.
No joke. Meanwhile, Stone has had the advantage at the X for the visitors. Won 5 of the 8 in the first half and has produced at a similar clip here in the second. He's going to win this one easily. Scoop it over to DiMartino. And the Saints look to extend their time of possession advantage now with 4 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, very disciplined, and they're just calm about ball handling right now, and they've certainly taken command of this game since the start of the half.
Estes to his left. So tough to come back, right? Especially if you're getting beat at the X. That's why, really, if you give Bishop Girton a lead late, it's very tough. But even in this case tonight, where Stone producing at almost a 70% clip, it can be nearly impossible down 5 or 6 late, right?
Oh yeah. And that's, we've talked about it before. That's where you, as the team that's suffering at the face-off X, that should be a flag. And there it is.
Yep, that's a second flag on the
outside
on the play. By the way, there was one thrown a moment ago.
Yeah, we got an interference and a slash, I think, Nick.
A couple of pieces of laundry down in the same area here on the near wing.
Yeah,
both goal line extended.
I think St. Thomas is going to be 6-on-4 here, so we see Trudell heading over. He's the slasher.
Yeah, he's whacking there.
Yeah, and it looks like 19. For Windham is going to be on the interference. So a 30 and a 1.
It's the last thing Coach Young was hoping to see here.
Exactly.
There's Trudell and Damaris, 2 of his better defenders, on the sideline now with 5 minutes gone by, fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that was a late flag actually on the interference call, but it was interference. It was pretty clear.
First penalty
In the second half.
Of the second half, St. Thomas went 0 for 1 on the EMO in the first half. Windham went 1 for 2.
They did.
Before halftime.
Yeah. Yep. That was on a 30-second penalty.
We got another flag here against the Windham bench. They just threw another one, Roger. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the home sideline.
So they're going to pull a defender here. That's usually your in-home that's going to have to sit. So not sure it is normally, or it's supposed to be an attackman. So who's he got in the box there? We got a cluster over there on the sideline. Can't get numbers yet. But we know we have 19 and 6. 19 on the interference and then 6 on the slide.
And I think Spallinger is joining him over there as well. Spallinger, I know, just came off the field.
Spallinger,
the defender.
Yeah,
that's him walking towards the end of the bench.
It's supposed to be an attackman. If it's a bench penalty, you have to take your in-home, what they call the in-home. Should be going there. We'll try and decipher it. All right, this is the best thing that could happen to Windham right now.
An early shot, just seconds into the penalty. Milano, no problem, and they get the outlet they were hoping for as well as Conley takes the pass at midfield. Conley with a step. Conley down the middle. Conley's going to fire and score. A one-man wrecking crew on that play. Evan Conley goes to the house and gets a shorthanded goal for Windham. Jaguars trying to climb their way back into it one rung at a time. It's 10-5.
All right, so I've been playing this game and watching this game for 50 years. I have never seen a shorthanded three-man down goal, ever. That was impressive, and it all started with Milano.
Yeah, good save by the senior. Long outlet pass on the money.
Yeah.
And Conley able to take it and go.
And here I am. I'm telling him to go behind goal line extended and just kill the clock, and the kid puts it in. So, hey, what do I know?
You were not wrong. It's just a heck of a play by Conley.
Well, time will tell. Let's see what they can do here on the face-off.
By the way, that's Conley's second goal of the game. He scored the first goal of the second half.
So they're still going to be 3 men down. Well, actually, no. They should be 2. Because one penalty should release.
The extra attackman in the box you were wondering about, I think, is O'Connor.
Number
4 in gold.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to give him a 4, and that was so that was a bench minor. But yeah, one of those penalties should be released.
Well, now they're going to send Jake Galliet-Santos back to the bench. Now Saliatos back onto the field. And the face-off man, Mason Kettlar, goes to the sideline.
Yeah, there was only 20 seconds gone in that first interference penalty, but that one should be released.
Officials are talking about it.
And they're making me a wrong man here, but I still disagree. Maybe some of my coaching and referee friends can give me a quick text, let me know what's going on here. You don't normally lock in a technical, so that technical was at 7:14, and that's only 20 seconds off the clock, so we'll see.
Big face-off.
Yeah, I mean, they're technically offsides at the start of this whistle.
Throwing the line there on the in front of the St. Thomas cage. Meanwhile, we got a timeout here after the Saints win the ground ball. Estes gets to it, and Coach Singer uses the timeout just shy of the midway point of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, okay. I'm baffled. I'm gonna need some help on this one. All my Zebra friends.
Well, Saints, after trailing 2-0 early, came up with a strong second quarter in which they shut out the Jaguars and took a 4-2 lead with them at the halftime break. Anthony DiMartino led the way with that first half hat trick for St. Thomas. Windham got back-to-back goals through the first 6 minutes of the third quarter to tie the game at 4 at the midway point, but then the floodgates open. St. Thomas closes out the quarter with 4 unanswered. 3 of those 4 scored by Finnegan Connor, including one at the buzzer. to bring us into the fourth quarter. Connor gets 2 more. If you're counting at home, he's now got 5. The last goal went to Windham's Evan Conley on a short-handed effort. And that's where we are here midway through the fourth quarter, 10-5 in favor of St. Thomas. The Saints eye their 3rd straight win.
Yeah, and when we talked to Coach Singer before the game, and this being the first time we've seen the Saints this year, he gave us a little bit of heads up, say, watch DiMartino, watch Broom, watch Estes. He forgot all about Stone, and he forgot about Connor, because they have been as dominating a force as any of those other 3 players. Not that they've had a bad game. They've all had a really, really good game, but very impressive. And there's one release.
Yep. A much-needed extra body for Windham. Now 4 defenders in front of Milano. The goaltender trying to keep Windham in the game. Jaguars trailing 10-5. Estes swings it up top. Broom back to Estes near side. Extra pass, DiMartino.
Nice.
Up top.
There
back
it is.
Near side.
Oh, perfect.
Good movement. DiMartino's bouncer ends up on the side of the net. Milano stabs it behind the cage. Windham gets the stop they were hoping for.
Nice movement there. That's been one of the best DMOs I've seen all season.
A long pass ends up with Ryan. Jags now on the attack. We move inside of 6 minutes. Home team hoping to get back within 4. And now we got a timeout here by Coach Joe Young.
Yeah, he was a bit nervous because of the time to get the touch in the box, and I think he was saying to himself, with that internal clock, I better get the timeout and keep possession here because we really need it, and that was probably the right thing to do. It was near. It was getting close.
Reminder, coming up Sunday, Mother's Day edition of the FNL Lacrosse show. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We're live every Sunday at 9 a.m. only on our YouTube channel, FNLNH Media. We'll have Eric Coburn of the Tomahawks co-hosting this week. Coach Cameron going to join us on the road. We're going to talk to the Bouvier twins from Bishop Girton, both Connor and Riley, and visit with Coach Leslie Y on the girls' side as well, plus Coach Jeff Smith of Concord.
Came up with a big one yesterday, Nick.
Yeah, they did. They beat Bedford
11-2.
Soundly defeating the Bulldogs. He'll come on to talk about that win. They're getting ready for Souhegan next week. We'll be up in the capital city on Tuesday for that broadcast. So a big week ahead here. Mother's Day weekend. We'll get the day going correctly.
So are you going to start at like 7 on Sunday morning so that everybody can get through the hour and a half to 2 hour show and then, make it on time for brunch for Mom?
The schedule revolves around me, Mother's Day or not.
Well, see, I always thought that. Well, at least on the lacrosse show part of it. I can.
Well, my mother happens to be the original fan of anything Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, so she'll be tuned in and happy. All right. I think, Roger, your headset just went out. We're going to try and get Roger back on here in a moment.
Yeah.
If we can
good take.
You find that wire. Meanwhile, another good save here in net. Elijah Allaire, the sophomore, is really played with some poise. Meanwhile, some extracurricular behind the cage. After the outlet pass, we see a little pushing and shoving.
That's going to be on the goalie.
Yeah, it was the goaltender. Allaire whacked his stick at Evan Conley.
And guess what? They do not have a backup goaltender. Yes, that's what my roster says. This should.
So what happens here? We're going to see.
This is what you got to do.
We're going to see Tyler Hamill, who's listed as a defender, grab a goalie stick and head to the cage. The junior didn't hesitate, ran right on.
And that was the plan.
Who is that? Is that Hamill? Is that 38 or 36? Hamill's listed at 36, and there is no 38.
That's 38, and it's got to be a JV player.
So we've got an unknown goalie. Well, that's what happens when the goalie gets a penalty, right? We don't see that often.
You, get a jersey. Come on in.
All right, St. Thomas, they get their hands full now. The Jaguars.
He's clearly a goalie. He's got to be the JV goalie. Look at him standing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, we'll get the skinny from Coach Singer. Oh, good bump. Alex.
Shot. Conley. No. O'Connor knocked off the path. Good physical play by the defender. And a good effort here by Caswell. Gets it over to the goalie. Outlet taken by Birch, who's going to turn upfield. Looking for the pylon near side. Knocked down.
Good play.
The ball knocked loose, rather, by two defenders. Birch trying to stick with it. Denton in the play for Windham. And ultimately it's Trudell, the long pole for the Jaguars. Goes out of his stick and ends up out of bounds. And we'll go back to St. Thomas here with inside of 5 minutes to go.
Yeah. You long poles out there that can't switch hands on the run to protect the ball, that's why you need to be multifaceted with your stick skills. He should have gone to his right hand. He's a lefty, and he would have had a whole lot easier time getting that ball up the field and not turning it over.
As a result, the Saints in a great spot here, trying to kill some clock as we tick down to 4 minutes. Estes played well up top here. The freshman has gotten a lot of minutes, playing alongside the senior Marcus Broom.
So that penalty on the goaltender did not hurt St. Thomas at all.
No, we're back to full strength. Allaire is back in the cage. We're inside of 4 minutes.
Ooh,
spin move. It's the freshman. Detola may have avoided a big hit. Stone going to fire. Bit of an ill-advised attempt there from deep. Milano, no problem. Outlet taken. This is William DiPietro. The sophomore hasn't played much this afternoon. Gets a good clear there for the home team. And now Conley, 2 goals to his credit already. Trying to spin away from the defensive captain, Max Murray.
Yeah, that'll be a film room teaching moment for Coach Singer, I think. No shot clock. You don't need to shoot from 15 yards out.
Bazin off the pick, finds a man. Crowley going to let it fly. Almost ends up in the parking lot.
Yeah, a little bit of a whip in that stick right there.
Clock a big factor now. We're inside of 3 minutes.
Oh, again.
Denton able to catch and fire on the move.
I like the play there. Good look.
Well, Coach Singer really holding that defense accountable. He's been vocal throughout the game. Trying to get his guys to give one final effort here with 2:40 to go and close this thing down.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, St. Thomas has traditionally been a very, very strong defensive team. For years, when Coach Barry Katz was, running that program, they were running zone defenses all the time, and they were really, really good at it. And they rarely went into man. Now, not only with Coach Singer, sticking with a man-to-man defense. Prior to him, Sean Houlihan, who was the coach, who's now at UNH, same thing. He was the former head coach at Dover, and they ran man there. And these guys have really got it down right now. Nice take. Ooh.
Good shot to his left, but Ryan ends up wide. Took a tumble there upon the release, but is okay.
I thought he almost turned his ankle. His left ankle just kind of buckled a bit.
Trying to find Denton off the curl. Couldn't haul it in. Ends up with St. Thomas once again. That Saints defense has been impressive.
Yeah, everybody. Everybody
really,
has been a part of the defense today.
Right. They held Jags to just 2 goals in that first half and only 3 more so far here in the second half, now inside of 2 minutes, fourth quarter.
Yeah, everybody on that defensive side of the field for them has played a part in holding down the fort and holding Windham to 5 goals. There's no question. Right from Daneker all the way back to Murray. Nice play.
Dunham trying to avoid a double team. Good split dodge there for the clear. Took a bruising hit, it looked like, as well.
He's done very well on the clears today, if you think about it, Nick. That's the second or third one he's brought up the sidelines on his own and taken a beating for it.
Shot, not happening. Again, Allaire tracked it the entire way. Outlet near side for Birch. Back to the goalie. Flips it to his right for Caswell. Long pole. The long pass down the middle taken away by Furtado off the bounce. Wyndham's got it. Up on the far sideline,
Good
Ryan
look.
for
Oh,
Conley.
numbers.
In the middle, O'Connor, there's the finish. Tic-tac-toe, seen a couple of transition goals for Windham in this second half, but it may not be enough in the end. The St. Thomas lead is cut down to 4, but Jaguars are running out of time with just 58 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we're going to give Alex Ryan the old hockey assist on that because that was just a beautiful setup. Very unselfish of Ryan to pass that off and get that ball down. They had numbers, and he saw that whole thing develop very, very early once he got the nice clearing pass.
First goal for O'Connor. Not to be confused with Finnegan Connor, who scored 5 on the other side. And not to be confused with Evan Conley, who has scored
got the assistant.
Who scored 2 goals for Windham's and had an assist on that goal a moment ago.
Exactly.
Stone is going to lose this one.
Yeah.
A rare loss for the St. Thomas faceoff man. A good play on the wing by the long pole, Adam Burke, for Windham.
He did everything right on that play, though. He tried to push it to his teammate, and he just missed the ground ball.
Conley, wrap around, knock down. Another good save out in front, and this ball is still loose. Pyle on the far side is going to force a flag here with 31 seconds remaining as play is stopped.
Yeah, this is going to be man up for the Jaguars.
Been a physical game, a lot of penalties.
Yeah, one play had 3 penalties on it. I mean, that was just
And another
weird.
at 2. Another at 2.
Exactly. Yeah, first quarter.
Yep, so we've seen a little bit of everything here from an officiating standpoint.
Yeah, so we've got that's Daniker in the box over there, Nick. I think it was a push. Saw one of the Jaguar players go back on his.
A rare mistake for the
Tin
sophomore. Has played very well. The long pole given the assignment of shadowing Windham's best attackman, Alex Ryan, and he held the senior to just 1 goal. Meanwhile, Denton, head down in the mix, fighting for that ground ball. Windham going to keep it. Basing going to fire. The bouncer is high. And out of play with just 13 seconds remaining.
You know, there's got to be something going on with Basin's stick. That's the second time this game he's just hit the ground on a nice bouncer. He did the same thing in the Derryfield game.
This one rolls out of play with 5 seconds. Enough time for the Saints to get a restart and then warm up the bus because they're going back to Dover with a victory. 10-6 is the final. St. Thomas with an impressive performance here on the road. They earned their 3rd straight victory and improved to 5-3 on the season. Another winnable game in front of them coming up Monday against Spalding. Meanwhile, Windham, after a 6-0 start, they've dropped 2 straight. And it doesn't get any easier as they head to the beach on Monday to take on Winnacunnet.
Yeah, they've got a lot of regrouping to do over the weekend, and I'm going to give the Saints my real deal stamp of approval. They showed me something entirely in all aspects of the game of lacrosse today, going right down to coaching, discipline, and one of the most important things at the high school level, IQ.
Yeah.
IQ. Amazing IQ out there from all starting 10.
Especially for a young group that only has 3 seniors on the roster. So St.
Exactly.
Thomas with a win 10-6. Back to talk about it. Full recap with stats, highlights, and analysis, plus an out-of-town scoreboard look as we put the bow on this one in a moment. St. Thomas a win over Windham 10-6. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com.
Hey, I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and affordable repair shop for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and even Android needs. Don't worry, we're affordable, reliable, and we back our parts with a lifetime warranty. And you know what the best part is? No, what? We can repair your phone while you wait.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Green. Here's your iPad, good as new. Bring your phone into New Hampshire iPhone Repair today.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today.
At Dead River Company, the work we do is about more than just filling up tanks. It's about the everyday moments in your home. We're here to fix your heating equipment, so you have heat and hot water for moments like this. We brave the elements, so you're always safe and warm. Anytime, day or night. Because it's moments like this that we do everything we do.
Dead River Company, it's not your job to worry about the heat. It's ours.
Become a customer today, and we'll be there for the moments that matter to you.
Well, 10-6 is our final. St. Thomas win their third in a row. They look good in the process, improving to 5-3. They hand Windham their second straight loss as the Jaguars dip to 6-2. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Windham, after a 6-day layoff, came out. They looked energized early in the first quarter. They scored the first 2 goals of the game, both from Blake Bazin. Second one was on a man up, and they led 2-0 late in that first quarter. St. Thomas, they got 2 in the final minute. Anthony DiMartino, Finnegan Connor to tie the game at 2. And early in the second quarter, they took their first lead. DiMartino's second came 90 seconds or so into that second quarter to put the Saints out in front 3-2. DiMartino's hat trick came a moment later. About the 4-minute mark, 4-2 at that point, St. Thomas, and that was our halftime score. Windham tied it early with 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. Evan Conley's first, Alex Ryan's first. Knotted things up at 4 midway through the third quarter. And then St. Thomas with a big answer. 4 unanswered to close out the frame. Finnegan Connor, Anthony DiMartino, Finnegan Connor, including, a fraction of a second? I guess they said at the buzzer to beat that third quarter whistle.
.01 in my book.
8-4 after 3, St. Thomas, and Connor was not done. He scored 2 more to start the fourth and give his team their largest lead at 10-4. Goal number 5 for Connor came at the 8:22 mark. Last 2 goals go to Windham, but it's not enough as Conley gets his second on a short-handed effort. Great play. And then Matt O'Connor in the final minute allowed the Jaguars to save a little bit of face. 10-6 ends up being our final. But as you said, Roger, the the Saints, they pass the eye test, so to speak, and they get the Roger Howe stamp of approval here midway through the season.
Yeah, for sure. They are the real deal. I was, like I said, at the close of the fourth. They impressed me in every aspect of this game. Where St. Thomas tried to, isolate Alex Ryan. Now after this game, looking at what Connor and DiMartino can do offensively for the Saints, you're probably going to see something like that happen, going forward, from other teams that need to defend these guys. And I'm anxious just to see what this guy Stone on the faceoff X can do throughout the remainder of the season.
What was his numbers in the end tonight? What were they?
He dominated. He was 14 out of the 20. So, definitely dominating at the X. And it wasn't like this was clean stuff. This kid knows what he's doing. That last one that they actually lost, it went to Windham. He didn't only win the clamp and get it outside of the X. He actually pushed it forward to one of his teammates who missed the ground ball, but he would have been 15, at the end of the fourth quarter there. But just an impressive team all the way around.
He definitely provided an advantage there. Shout out to George Deniker as well, the sophomore who had to hang with Alex Ryan and did more than hold his own. He contained the Windham senior, held him to just one goal. Through the full 48 minutes. All right, some final scores from around the state, Roger. A busy week 4 in the NHIAA.
Yeah, and again, limited tweets today. Not a lot on the scoreboard for me to report, but South did handedly take care of the Green Wave over at Stellos. 11-1, and their goalie, according to the information I had 22 saves for Dover in that contest. So South was firing away, and the goalie kept them, within 10. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Could have been worse, apparently.
All right. I want to remind you to tune in Sunday. We're on the air 9 a.m. for a special Mother's Day edition of FNL Lacrosse. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. And, of course, we'll recap this game and preview the upcoming week as well with exclusive player and coaches interviews. Coach Cameron, Eric Coburn in the house. So we've got a busy show coming up 9 a.m. Sunday. Don't miss it.
And moms, you've got to get into the comments section on YouTube and see how many moms are actually going to be watching on YouTube on or Sunday morning. I'd love to see that.
Sure.
I think we'd be surprised. We'd be surprised.
Of
course they would be, yes.
Absolutely.
There's some pretty crazy lax moms out there.
Yeah, they're dedicated for sure.
Yeah.
Reminder, the next time you and I will see each other is Tuesday up in the state capitol, Concord, playing host to Sauhegan in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. That's Tuesday at 4 o'clock. Want to thank our sponsors, Beals Insurance, MG Sports Fundraising, the New Hampshire Tomahawks, New Hampshire iPhone Repair, Dead River Company, and, of course, the Bean Group and Roger Howe Real Estate. Want to thank John Hall and his staff here at Windham for making things easy for us, as he always does. We appreciate Mr. Hall and his staff. Both coaches helping us out this week as well, Joe Young and Scott Singer. We appreciate them. Our dual videographers, John Barron up here in the crow's nest with us, down on the field, Craig Incardoni, both invaluable at this point to us here at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. The director, the man behind the curtain back in the Beals Insurance Studios, Ben Beals. We appreciate him, smooth as usual tonight behind the curtain. And, of course, the executive producer down in Florida, the unseen hand, Steve Beals. He'll be back up here in the Shire in the next few weeks. For my partner, Roger Howe, another successful endeavor, my friend. My name, Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time. St. Thomas 10, Windham 6. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.